Hi and welcome to Knooking 101. In this episode, I'm going to show you how to make the garter stitch in the flat and in the round. Let's start with the flat. If you have made your cast on and have all the loops on your hook for your project, you first push the project onto your helper yarn and turn your work like this, and then we are just putting our hook into our first loop right here, and we are taking our yarn to the back and then just push it through like this, and then we continue by going into the next loop and then yarning over, and again in the next, and in the next, all the way through. And once you have all your 10 loops on your hook again, you can now take out the helper yarn by pushing on it, and then of course taking your work back on the helper yarn and turn it. The beautiful thing about the garter stitch is that it is a one round repeat stitch, so we do the exact same thing that we did in the first round also in the following rounds to create this beautiful garter stitch pattern. Like this, and then again at the end of the round take out the helper yarn and continue as we had it before. Turn your work, grab the first loop, push the working yarn to the back, and then just slip stitch the first stitch. This will also give you a pretty nice border, and from there we can continue like we did it before, and you can make this until you reach the length that you want. For example, for a scarf or even for clothing, for wearables. This stitch is really pretty and really easy to make, so plenty of options. And again at the end, pull out your helper yarn and continue again. And after a while, here's how it looks. Super even, super squishy. So this was the garter stitch in the flat. So let's see how the garter stitch works in the round. Other than in the flat, where the garter stitch is a one round repeat, the garter stitch in the round is actually a 2 round repeat. So we are going to change the stitch every second row. And if you feel more comfortable having a stitch marker in the first stitch, feel free to do so. Otherwise, you can use where we connected the yarn and where the yarn end still comes out as a reference to where to change the stitch. And we can then go in the first loop, and the first row or the first round is all knit stitches. So you yarn over and pull the yarn through, and also of course take up the next loops on your hook. And if it gets a bit too tight, make sure to just put that helper yarn, the end part of it, out, and then you can easily like pull through, so you have a bit more space to work in those stitches, and can then easily continue. One stitch left, like that, and then I'm just going to drag out my helper yarn so I can easily start with the next round. And the next round, as I mentioned before, we are going to change the stitch. Instead of a knit stitch, we are going to make a purl stitch, and I already showed it in the other video, but I show it again. You take the yarn to the front, and then in your next loop you grab it from the side and twist your hook a little bit, and then yarn under and pull it through. I'll show it again. You take the loop from the side and twist your hook to push the loop up, and then you take your yarn from below over your hook and then just take that second loop through the first one on your hook. I'll show one more. You go from the side, twist your yarn, take the working yarn over your hook, 2 loops, and then just push that second loop through the first one. And this is how you continue for as many rounds as you have. I have 20, and once I'm at the end, I will then switch again to the knit stitch. And once you're at the end of the round, make sure to take the yarn to the back or to the inside of your work, because we're in the round, and then grab your next loop and continue with a round of knit stitches. And this is what you do all the way for as long as you want to. Of course, since the garter stitch is much easier to make in the flat, you could also consider making the piece in the flat and then just joining the 2 long sides into one piece. And here we go, the garter stitch in the round. So thank you so much for watching. If you want to learn more about Knooking, make sure to subscribe to my channel and to check out my Knooking 101 playlist. And until then, happy Knooking! Bye!